Hello, my wise elders. Welcome back to this great channel. Have you ever paused to ask yourself whether some secrets are meant to stay with you for the rest of your life, no matter how close you are to your family? It sounds like a simple question, but it becomes surprisingly real as we cross into our 80s and begin revisiting decades of memories, private choices, and moments we rarely speak about. If you're here watching this, you probably value honesty and transparency. Yet you also understand that certain truths, once spoken aloud, cannot be pulled back. Today, we're exploring 4 kinds of personal secrets that, based on my own experience and many heartfelt conversations with friends in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, are often better kept unspoken. These may include old regrets, past failures, or deeply personal mistakes. Things that shape your life, but wouldn't necessarily help anyone else by being revealed now. Stay with me until the end, because you may discover that keeping some matters private has nothing to do with deceit. It can be an act of preserving peace, dignity, and love. In these later years, I'll be sharing practical wisdom, real-life examples, and psychological perspectives to help you understand not just what to keep private, but why your happiness and your family's harmony may depend on it. If you've ever lain awake wishing you could express something you've carried for years, this message is for you. Let's dive in. 1. Regrets from your younger years. One of the heaviest things many of us carry into old age is regret. These regrets come from decisions we made in our 20s, 30s, or 40s, times when life felt overwhelming, or when we acted without fully grasping the consequences. For some people, the regret may be a path not taken, a friendship lost, or a choice that haunted them for years. At 85, after countless conversations with people my age, I can tell you that nearly everyone has at least one regret that lingers quietly in the background of their heart. But here's the truth. These regrets are incredibly personal. They help shape who you became. Sharing them late in life, with your children or grandchildren, may not create the release or understanding you expect. Instead, it can confuse, sadden, or even burden loved ones who look up to you. They may not know what to do with these revelations, and it cannot change what happened long before they existed. I once knew an elderly man named Frank. At 82, he finally opened up to his daughter about a woman he once loved deeply, a story he kept hidden for over half a century. He thought confessing it would bring them closer. Instead, it unsettled her. She began questioning her father's happiness and even wondered about her parents' marriage. Frank later realized that his daughter carried that story like a tiny stone in her shoe, small, but impossible to ignore. Psychologists say that sharing deep regrets can help us, but often does nothing for the people who hear them, especially when they cannot fix or change anything. After 80, your family needs steadiness, reassurance, and comfort, not a catalog of things you wish you had done differently. This doesn't mean you shouldn't share wisdom. You can still offer lessons, perspective, and encouragement, but raw, unfiltered regrets from long before your loved ones were born rarely help anyone. Before revealing an old regret, pause and ask yourself, will this help my family, or am I simply trying to ease my own heart? Sometimes silence is a gentler path. 2. Past financial struggles you barely survived. Money plays a huge role in our lives, from the houses we lived in to the opportunities we created for our children. But after 80, it's often the old financial hardships, the ones we kept hidden, that return to our thoughts. These might be debts we carried alone, businesses that collapsed, or periods when we barely scraped by. Some elders feel tempted to finally reveal these struggles. But after a lifetime of learning, here's what becomes clear. Telling your children or grandchildren every failure, debt, or mistake from decades ago rarely brings comfort or closeness. Instead, it simply hands them a burden they can't fix. Many of us grew up in a time when financial challenges were dealt with quietly. We carried the load, so our families wouldn't have to. Take the story of a woman named Eleanor. At 83, she told a friend that she once lost nearly everything in a risky investment shortly after her husband passed. She never told her children that they were close to losing their home. She eventually rebuilt her life silently. Years later, she wondered whether she should share the whole truth. Her friend gently reminded her that while honesty matters, some truths simply add unnecessary worry. When Eleanor later mentioned her experience to her children, she shared only the lessons, strength, resilience, and wisdom not the frightening details. Her children admired her instead of worrying. Experts say older adults often want to confess old financial wounds to feel understood. But families rarely need every detail of past hardship. They need reassurance and stability. Yes, you should be transparent about your current finances, your will, your estate, anything that affects your loved one's responsibilities. But struggles from decades ago? Their lessons all genuinely show in the life you built. If you found value so far, type number 2 in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, please do and enable notifications so you won't miss future videos. Now let's continue. 3. Old wounds and family conflicts. Living a long life means witnessing family relationships evolve, sometimes beautifully, sometimes painfully. You may carry memories of past conflicts, moments when a sibling, spouse, or child hurt you deeply. These unspoken grievances often resurface in old age, especially during moments of reflection or family gatherings. The urge to finally tell your side can feel strong. But after decades of watching families rise and fall, here's something important. Many long-buried conflicts are better left unspoken. Let me share Harold's story. Harold was 84 when he told me about a disagreement with his younger brother back in the 1960s over their father's inheritance. It caused distance between them for years, and when his brother eventually passed, Harold carried that memory alone. In old age, he wondered if he should tell his children the full story. After speaking with his pastor, he realized that revealing the details would only stain his children's memory of their uncle. Nothing would be healed. Nothing would be fixed. Only new hurt would form. Studies show that quiet forgiveness, without reopening old hurts, can bring deep peace. By choosing not to drag yesterday's conflicts into today, you protect your family's unity. Your children will remember you as the one who held the family together, not the one who revived conflicts from generations before. Before speaking about a decades-old pain, ask, will this help my family grow? Or will it only change how they see someone they love? Silence, in these moments, can be an act of love. For old health scares you survived alone. As we age, health becomes a constant topic. Appointments, medications, and small aches that remind us we're still here. Yet many people carry private health fears in the past. A scary symptom they hid, a test they avoided, or a diagnosis they feared but never faced. These private health scares shaped you, but you manage them and move forward. Now, some elders wonder if they should finally tell their children or grandchildren. But sharing old scares, especially those resolved long ago, often causes unnecessary fear or guilt. Carol, for example, once found a lump in her breast at 61. She was terrified but kept it to herself. After weeks of anxiety, she learned it was harmless. Decades later, she wondered if she should tell her family. But ultimately, she realized that sharing wouldn't help them, teach them anything new, or change anything. Her family couldn't have supported her then, and revealing it now would only cause worry. Doctors agree, openness builds trust, but discretion has a place. Not every medical fright should become part of your family's memory. If it doesn't affect them today, and if it serves no purpose now, it's often kinder to let it remain in the past. Your family needs your presence, steadiness, and resilience, not a list of old terrors that ended long ago. If you found this helpful, type number 4 in the comments, and be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. As we conclude, I hope you feel more at peace with the idea that not every secret needs to be spoken aloud. Keeping some memories private isn't deception. It's often a final act of love, a way of shielding your family from worries they cannot resolve. Think about what resonated most with you. Do you recognize any of these 4 types of secrets in your own life or in someone you know? Take a moment to honor your own journey, the lessons you've learned, the strength you've shown, and the quiet resilience that shaped your family in ways they may never fully understand. There is no guilt in keeping certain memories to yourself. In truth, it is a sign of wisdom. If you choose to share anything, let it be the hope, forgiveness, courage, and wisdom that helped you grow, not the old wounds that no longer serve anyone's happiness. Your legacy lives not in old confessions, but in the love, reassurance, and stability you offer until the very end. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned and how you'll apply it in your life. Your comments inspire us to keep going. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips and share. Your support makes it possible for us to continue creating content that informs and uplifts. We appreciate you watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.